The link to the 25th chapter will be in the pinned comment of this video because as usual the chapter got translated pretty early, so without further ado, let's get into the review. Alright, so before I start analyzing the 25th chapter, I just want to give a quick little shout out to one of my subscribers, different // I'm going to have her Twitter in the description of this video. Basically, she was the one who made the thumbnail of this video, and she also does a lot of these colored panels of the Boruto manga, and she posts them on, Twitter, and a whole bunch of Boruto related stuff. So, as I said, her Twitter is down in the description of this video. If you could follow her, that would be really nice because she deserves it, and you're technically helping out this channel as well by doing so because she helped me with this thumbnail. Yeah, make sure to follow different // Now, straight away, the colored cover has a lot of interesting information. Now, I do want to point out one thing. These translations, they could sometimes make... they could sometimes be a little bit inaccurate because there was like a little mistranslation, I guess, in the last chapter. And, the entire analysis I did about Delta was kind of pointless because it wasn't translated properly when I saw the Viz translations later on. But I don't think there should be anything wrong with this. So in case you missed this, I'm gonna read it to you. So number 1, the force that makes both living things and objects move. Number 2, the emotional force of people. Number 3, the force that makes things function. Number 4, the force that makes things make to function. Number 5, something to rely on, something that assists. Number 6, various kinds of strength, such as skills, etc. Number 7, a relative authority. And then it says, taken from the 3rd volume of Shueisha's Japanese language dictionary. Now, I'm assuming that these are the powers of the Karma Seal. Originally, there was this theory in the Boruto fandom that basically, the power that you get from the Karma Seal depends on the Otsutsuki that you killed, assuming that, you get the seal by killing an Otsutsuki, which is one of the ways, but we don't know if there's another way of, gaining the seal. And that was actually proven to be incorrect in this chapter, because obviously Kawaki also used the absorption technique, just like Boruto. And obviously, because Boruto killed Momoshiki, we thought that he got it from Momo, because Momo could, absorb jutsus with his Rinneguns on his palms or whatever. So yeah, this kind of confirms that pretty much Karma Seals have the same powers, I guess. Now, the interesting thing for me is the 7th point here. It says a relative authority. And that could, I guess this 7th point could kind of differentiate different Karma Seals. I don't know, I could be wrong. But yeah, I wonder if there's like an extra power that, each Karma Seal has. I mean, there must, because I don't want to say it would suck if those 2 Karma Seals are literally the same. It definitely wouldn't, but I feel like it would be cooler if for the most part they're the same, but then each one of them has like a small unique ability, and that differentiates, for example, if Boruto's Karma Seal has a special power, it would make him kind of different than Kawaki in that sense, right? And anyway, the name of the chapter is Resonance, and yeah, I could be pronouncing that wrongly because I'm Serbian, I'm not American, I'm not English or anything like that. But yeah, I just, kind of researched a little bit about that word. And, I think that word is supposed to represent that Boruto and Kawaki are somehow related. Because even in this chapter, whenever they were close, the Karma Seals were activating or whatnot. And even Kashin Koji mentioned this word. So yeah, but anyway, enough of the colored cover analysis. Let's get into the actual chapter. So obviously the chapter opens up with the Garo versus Kawaki fight, and first things first, the art throughout the fight was just beautiful. And one thing that's really important when it comes to fights in the manga is that it's easy to follow through the panels. Because, for example, if you read Tokyo Ghoul, which, by the way, the Tokyo Ghoul franchise is my 2nd favorite anime/manga after Naruto/Boruto. If you read that manga, a lot of times it's super hard to follow the fighting sequences, and sometimes you need to stare at the panels for like 1 or 2 minutes just to kind of recognize what's going on, but here everything goes really well. It's fluent, and that's something that I really enjoy. And by the way, reading these chapters is like it goes super fast. But anyway, it was stated in the last chapter that Kawaki was weakened or whatever, and at first he couldn't do much against Garo, and Garo pretty much had the upper hand. And at one point, there was this interesting line from Garo. He mentioned that even at this point, Kawaki won't die, which later on in the chapter it was explained that, a certain someone experimented on him, and, his entire body was modified, so that's, why it makes sense. At one point, Garo even mentions how he's gonna, I guess, break his arms or legs or whatever, and you have these dark themes. I already said this multiple times. The Boruto manga lately, it's giving me a lot of seinen vibes, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one, and I'm still, I'm gonna repeat this. I still haven't made a video about this, but I'm definitely gonna, make a video talking about some seinen elements that I see in the Boruto manga. I'll try to do it as soon as I can. But yeah, anyway, there's this really interesting thing about Kawaki's power. He shoots something from his body, some blades or something like that. Now, obviously, manga, it's not colored. It's gonna be much easier to analyze everything when it gets animated, but for now, I guess he just shoots something out of his body. And anyway, as he was pretty much getting destroyed by Garo, his karma seal activated because of Boruto. And as the karma seal was activating on Boruto, he mentioned that something is sleeping in. Now, I'm sure there will be many theories about this, because I don't know what to say. He literally said it's sleeping in. Is it referring to, like, somebody? Because, like, obviously, after Momoshiki got killed, he appeared in, like, a ghost form, right? And I'm pretty sure that we're going to see him until the end of the Boruto manga for a couple of more times. He might appear again in the future or something like that, because it's a cliche thing in shonen that the main protagonist has either a demon inside of himself or some creature. Like, you see it in a lot of shonen, manga. So I think they could, do that in Boruto as well. But the point I'm trying to say is that there will be many theories about that sentence. And anyway, as Garo is looking at Kawaki, he's terrified when he sees the karma seal. And Kawaki mentions that it's not him. It's the fact that Boruto came so close, and then he was like, that's why I hate it. Now, there's one interesting thing about the karma seal. Does karma seal make you go a little bit mad? Because when Boruto's karma seal activated against Kashin-Koji, he was like really harsh when he was speaking, and now Kawaki was so ruthless. That's just a speculation, because like Kawaki earlier in the past broke this guy's jaw. He literally blew it away, but now he literally killed him. He destroyed him. Would he be that harsh? It would make sense because of the fact that he had such a terrible childhood, because of the fact that everybody refers to him as this vessel. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm really curious about this entire situation, because I'm wondering, is it the karma seal that's making these guys go crazy? Because Kawaki said, I hate it. Maybe he hates it because he loses control when the karma seal activates, or maybe he just hates it because it activated without his will, I guess. That's kind of like an open question that is yet to be answered in the Boruto series. As I already said, Boruto was really aggressive when the karma seal activated against Kashin-Koji, but then again, it was a life or death situation. So yeah, we'll see what's the case with that throughout the rest of the Boruto manga, right? Or the Boruto series, whatever. But anyway, Kawaki absorbs Garo's attack like a boss. That was a beautiful panel when he was walking to it, and he literally he destroys Garo, and that to me looked like wood style. I'm not even joking. I already said this in the past when he used like his blade arm in the 24th chapter. It really looked like Jugo's ability, because if you guys remember Jugo and his Sage transformation and all that, I even did a theory video about this. I even mentioned it in multiple videos. I don't want to repeat myself all over again, but basically my prediction was that he could use Jugo's ability because he's from the same clan as him, or something, like, according to that theory. But this looked like a mix of Jugo's clan ability, right, and a mix of wood style as well. I really got some Obito flashbacks when he was destroying the hidden mist ninja, with wood style or whatnot. And as I said, maybe you missed this because, reading these chapters, it really goes quickly, but it genuinely looks like wood style. And I was talking about this with one of my subscribers, and he also says that this could potentially be wood style. Nothing is clarified in the chapter, unfortunately. But yeah, the point is he completely murders this guy. And Garo even at one point said, like, please don't kill me or something like that. But Kawaki didn't even think twice. He literally destroyed the guy. And that scene, like, it gave me the chills, literally. And seeing the lower part of Garo's body, that's unfortunately probably going to be censored in the anime. But that's fucking dark, bro. Also, one interesting thing that I want to mention is that as Garo and Kawaki were fighting, Delta mentions, like, she kind of makes, like, I guess, an ironic joke or something like that. She says that they should have replaced his brain as well or something like that, which just shows you that the technological knowledge that the Kara organization has, it's out of this world. And there's this question, who experimented on Kawaki. This is somebody who's even smarter, well, not smarter, but even more advanced than Katasuke, right? And potentially Orochimaru as well, because we don't know the full extent of Orochimaru's knowledge, right? But anyway, I really found that little detail to be very, very interesting. And anyway, going back to Kawaki and the fact that he literally destroyed Garo. And by the way, I wonder if he fired back the thing that he absorbed from Garo's attack. It would kind of make sense that you can absorb something and then fire it back at people. But anyway, the point is that attack was so powerful that he could have killed the entire Team 7, or at least damaged them heavily. But Boruto absorbed he absorbed the ninjutsu, I guess. And anyway, even Mitsuki was shocked, and Sarada, obviously, when Boruto absorbed it. And you have this panel, and I'm literally looking at it right now. I can't really put a screenshot on screen because I'm risking with the, the copyrights right now. So I'm just going to show it like this. Okay, hold on. Can you actually see? Yeah, that panel where Boruto and Kawaki look at each other. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very iconic moment. You see Boruto and Kawaki with their karma seals activated, looking at each other, and you have so much effort and detail put into these two panels. And obviously they're gonna have a legendary bond. That's pretty much obvious, I think. And this is just the beginning. And these panels, they tell a lot. And for Ikemoto to draw such two panels, that means that, yeah, this is the start of something huge. And I think that all true Boruto fans should be really, really excited, because I'm surely excited to see what the future brings and how Kawaki's character will develop. And by the way, Boruto saves the day once again in this chapter. Now, anyway, after those two panels that I just fanboyed over, we have this page where Kawaki says something very interesting. Basically, Boruto is talking to him. Kawaki realizes that they aren't from the Kara because they don't know too much. Like, even Boruto, he doesn't have enough. He didn't master the Karma Seal, which is obvious and all that. And anyway, they're talking, right? And Kawaki says something that's fucking dark, okay? This is fucking dark. He literally says, at least in this chapter, I hope this wasn't translated wrongly, because this is a crucial detail. He says, from now on, even if you pursue me, the mountain of corpses will only increase. Go back and tell that to Jigen. That pretty much tells us that he already killed a lot of people. And now that I think about it, I guess the Karma Seal doesn't make you go mad, because if he already killed a lot of people, why wouldn't he kill Garo? And the mountain already exists, right? The mountain of the corpses, and he says that it will just increase. Maybe he was exaggerating. Maybe he didn't literally kill so many people, but something tells me that he did. I remember when, when Sasuke was seen training with Orochimaru. I saw this a long time ago, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at one point Orochimaru saw Sasuke standing alive after he killed like 100 people or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, it could have been 10, 50, 100, but yeah, it's not something that we haven't seen in Naruto, so that's why you shouldn't be so surprised. And yeah, here we see it. Unbelievable. And what Kashin Koji says on the next page is very interesting. He says, like, to Karma, he mentions the title of this chapter, right? And he's like, so this is the reason why Jigen was so fixated on Kawaki. I need more information. Kashin Koji looks like the guy who knows everything. And when Kashin Koji says, I need more information, that surely tells you that this manga has so many plot points that are yet to be touched upon. And when I was reading the chapter, as I'm, reading this line, I need more information. That's literally all of us in the fandom. We just want more information. And the fact that this manga is monthly is killing all of us, obviously. So it's just painful having to wait for so long, all the time. But it's just the reality of being a Boruto fan. And yeah, I just relate to Kashin Koji when he says this. So yeah, and then after that, you see Kawaki pretty much fainting, right? And he faints literally, and they call it overheating in this chapter, or to be more precise, Katasuki calls it overheating. I mean, even when Garo was still alive, I suppose that he's dead, he said like, your powers are degenerating or something like that. And even at that point, you see that something's going on with his body. And now that he's overheating like a robot, and by the way, I'm happy that he's not a robot, slash android or anything like that. I'm happy that he's a human. And that, obviously they experimented on him, but I'm happy that he's a human. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Yeah, I just wanted to say this. But anyway, Katasuki is going to be a very important character. Obviously, throughout the last, 8 chapters of the manga, it has been established that he's going to be, pretty relevant. I thought he could potentially be killed off soon, but it looks like he is going to be very, very relevant because his knowledge will be very, very important. Obviously, I already mentioned this, I think, in this video. There's potentially a scientist who experimented on, Kawaki, somebody who has even more knowledge than Katasuki. It would be such a plot twist if that certain someone is Orochimaru, but I don't know, we'll see. And imagine if this other scientist, gets like so important, like I'm talking about, his relevance in the story, and then potentially Katasuki needs to come up with some technology that will surpass that guy's technology or something like that. Like, they could do so many different things here. So yeah, I may be speculating too much right now, but I just wanted to mention it because somebody had to experiment on Kawaki, and obviously it wasn't Katasuki. As I implied earlier, there is a possibility there that it's Orochimaru, because you never know with Orochimaru. Even though he's quote-unquote good right now, you never know if he could somehow be, related to the Kara or something like that. Because Kashin Koji knows about Orochimaru. He mentioned it, I think, in chapter 23 or 24. Because, like, when he saw Mitsuki and when he saw the fact that, he stopped Sarada from rushing in against Kashin Koji, he literally acknowledged Mitsuki's, good decision-making. And he was like, as expected from Orochimaru's child. So this makes me believe this increases the chances of Orochimaru somehow being connected to the Kara. Even though the chances are small, it kind of increases it. Orochimaru is a well-known figure, I guess, and as I stated earlier in this video, Kashin Koji looks like he knows everything. So, maybe he just knows about Orochimaru, but, I just want to throw in all the possibilities here. So, yeah, I must say that I'm really, really enjoying Delta's, not only her thickness in these panels, but her lines as well. Ever since we saw her, for the first time, when I saw those eyes, which by the way, I think that's a dojutsu, I was, I immediately had a huge interest in her character, mainly because of the dojutsu. And ever since she was introduced in the last chapter, like, all these Kara members are so mysterious, and I just can't wait, to get more info on her. And there's just something about her dialogue which makes me, enjoy it. When she speaks, for example, she says, well, looks like this was inevitable. Is it okay if I take care of all of those guys from Konoha, Koji? And then, Koji is obviously, no, Delta, we should not get involved with them. And yeah, I mean, I repeated this 20 times throughout my last couple of chapter reviews, and I'm gonna do it again. As simple as that. Kakashi Koji is mysterious. That's it. I don't even want to speculate about his goals or anything like that. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know why he didn't kill the guys from the Konoha. Yeah, I genuinely don't know. Maybe Kara is like a good group. Maybe they have some good goal and they don't want to necessarily kill. Maybe they want to attain some greater peace. Who knows? Because even now that everything is at peace, between the main villages and all that, you still have poor people who suffer from being isolated, I guess. Byakuya gang arc really emphasized that, the arc in the anime, which was a really, really good arc, by the way. Maybe I said this in the past, just because there's peace between the villages, that doesn't mean that there's peace between other dimensions and other celestial beings. Who knows what concepts the Boruto writers are going to implement into this series, because this series is differentiating itself from Naruto in many different ways with all these concepts, with the technology stuff and all that. At first, I wasn't the biggest fan of the entire technological aspect of Boruto. I never said it was bad, because that's just wrong. You can't say that it's bad because you need to give it a chance. I still think it's kind of not even unrealistic, but it's not too realistic that the technology advanced so much in the last 15 years in terms of Naruto time, and that's my opinion. Please don't give me real-life examples and don't try to explain to me that it's actually realistic. In my opinion, it's unrealistic a little bit, and that's just my opinion. But other than that, I never said that it was bad, because as I said, you need to give it a chance, but I'm honestly really, really enjoying it right now. So yeah, like the technological aspect of the Boruto series. And anyway, let's mention something that's without a doubt probably in top 3 moments of this chapter. And I think that we all know what panel I'm referring to. Just look at this badassery here. Okay, can it just fucking focus? I need to buy a better camera. You basically saw Kakashi Koji standing there, and he says, even if they don't like the world that's approaching, they will come to know it. And that terror will carry the name Kara. Just imagine when that gets animated and it's followed by like a villain type of soundtrack, and it's probably gonna zoom in on Kakashi Koji's face. Just imagine. This kind of makes it look like the Kara are evil, but I don't think so. I think they have some, other, good goals or whatever, just like the Akatsuki. I mean, not all Akatsuki members were good people, of course, but eventually the main goal was peace, right? That was Nagato's goal. But anyway, before this panel, I just had to talk about it straight away. But anyway, Delta, she pretty much says that she came here to retrieve the vessel and all that. But Kakashi Koji is pretty much stopping her. He basically says that the information has already been leaked. It doesn't really matter. And yeah, he pretty much he doesn't let her interfere, and she accepts it peacefully, which is very, very understandable. And after he mentioned the terror and the car organization, Delta says, well, that's fine with me. Jigen also warned me of it. It won't go according to your principles though, which means that yeah, their methods could be different, but their goals might be the same. But despite all of that, I still feel like Kakashi Koji has some of his own goals. But yeah, I'm just fucking loving these interactions between the Kara members, I must say. So yeah, anyway, after that, Katasuki pretty much starts fanboying over this technology, and he explains everything to us. He even says this body is already work of art. And yeah, he pretty much says all of his blood vessels and his nervous system have been modified. And to think that there are scientists who possess this sort of technology. I mentioned in this video how there could be one scientist who could rival Katasuki, but there could be multiple scientists out there. We don't really know, and it could be Orochimaru. So yeah. And anyway, what's interesting for me is that Mitsuki in this chapter even mentioned that he's like an artificial human being, and even Katsuki mentions Orochimaru and all that, and it was funny seeing Boruto's and Sarada's reactions, and the typical like anime face with like eyes like this, completely white, when they like make the confused face and you're supposed to laugh. I don't remember when was the last time, I don't remember the last time, we saw it in the Boruto manga, so seeing like a funny panel, I was legitimately confused. There was another gag moment when what's his name, Katasuki, said, "Good gracious, there's a genius like me who exists out there somewhere." So yeah, that was hilarious. And seeing something like that after all these chapters with so many mysteries introduced and with so much action and all that, it was really refreshing seeing it, even though it was just on one page. So yeah, I mean, Mitsuki immediately thought that maybe Kawaki was created the same way as Sim, I guess, but then Katasuki basically explains everything, and I think this is the crucial line. He was a human being who was made into something different through inorganic technology. So yeah, he was a human, that's confirmed, but then he was experimented on. So yeah, and we know that he was tortured by his father. We know that everybody refers to him as this vessel. We know that he has these car members going after him, trying to beat him and all that. And now we know that somebody experimented on Kawaki, and that was probably painful. And this kid is full of traumas. That's so visible. That's why sometimes he talks like a jerk, and he's so nervous and all that. It's justified. And Kawaki's character so far, it couldn't have been any better in my eyes. I'm just fucking loving every moment of Kawaki, and I might sound like a fanboy, but if they continue writing his character like this, he could become one of the best characters in all of Naruto, and I'm not even joking. But it's still too early to say anything. So far, the execution of his character is great, but we'll have to wait more to see what happens with him and all that. And anyway, at the end, Team 7 decides that they will take Kawaki back to the Hinley village. I'm not gonna, analyze this dialogue, because obviously Konohamaru mentions that, this kid is basically equals to valuable information and all that. Boruto, of course, is a good person. He says, no matter what, I can't just leave this the way things are and all that. And this is the huge one. At the final page, Boruto says, let's head to where my father is, and on the side of the chapter it says, Kawaki heads towards Konoha, Wobble Kawaki, the vessel spilled during his encounter with Naruto. Yo, they're gonna meet. And I'm gonna make a separate video about this, but they're gonna meet, bro. A guy who potentially killed Naruto in the future of the series is gonna meet Naruto in the next chapter. And just that panel, those two panels of Naruto and Kawaki, that panel, it foreshadows a lot. You see Naruto being super serious, you see Kawaki, and one huge detail is that you see the Hinley village in the bottom right corner below Kawaki. And of course we all know that the Hinley village is going to be destroyed in the future, most likely by Kawaki. I'm gonna save my thoughts for that video, because realistically, when reviewing this chapter, Boruto literally just says, let's head to where my father is. We know that he's gonna come to Konoha and all that. So yeah, nothing too much to say about that. I don't want to speculate too much, because that would kind of transform into like a theory video, a speculation video, because as I said, I'm gonna do a separate video talking about this. But yeah, it's about to become even more iconic, this manga, with all these iconic fucking moments, and I'm just loving every bit of it. Boruto fucking greatness, 10 out of 10 for me for this chapter. Everything was just fucking perfect about it. I can't even fucking speak anymore. Oh my god, what a chapter, what a time to be a Boruto fan. I cannot believe that this manga is monthly. I don't know how I'm gonna survive until the next chapter. Anyway, that was your boy Hokage. Put in this links are in the description below. Don't forget to follow different // Also, link to my second channel where I talk about other anime / manga will be in the description of this video. And yeah, that was your boy Hokage, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.